Hey, what's up guys? And welcome back in to the garage. Now, today's video I'm excited to bring to you because it's been something I've wanted to do on my 4Runner for quite some time. I just had to be patient and come across the right components at the right price. And that's the replacement of my headlights. Now, as you'll see in the video, my headlights were in really rough shape. This is the passenger side headlight that came out of my 3rd gen. Now, these headlights were original to my vehicle, and as a reminder, I got 250,000 miles on them. So they had seen some abuse, and the driver's side was actually much worse than this passenger side. What I was able to do was come across replacements in my salvage yard journeys. I actually picked the passenger and the driver's side headlights from 2 different 3rd gen 4Runners, and they ended up being in really good shape. I took the time prior to making this video to kind of take those headlights apart and to clean them up and to get them restored and looking really good before I put them onto my 4Runner, and I was extremely pleased with the results. Now, what you'll see in this video is I'm going to be referencing a swap over to these Auxito LEDs, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time as well, to get rid of the old bulbs because they really were never performing well. And even though I mentioned the LEDs in this video, I'm going to save that for another video that is specifically about the performance of that LED swap. So you're not going to see that in this video, but I will link it, as we're going to have a series of videos in the future in regards to all of my swapping from regular bulbs to Auxito LEDs, and I think you guys are really going to like that. So with that said, I hope y'all enjoy this. I hope you guys gain some confidence from this, and if you too want to upgrade your headlights, be it to an aftermarket option, a retrofit option, or even just like I did, you find some replacements at a salvage yard that are better and you want to go ahead and do that, then I hope this gives you the confidence to take those steps. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Well, it is a beautiful fall day today, and we're going to get after a quick project here that is far past due, and on top of it, get an upgrade in my headlights. So this here is the headlight that has seen far better days. You can tell there was a stone impact here, and look at the standing water, huh? How about that? For a little bit here, I've been thinking about going to the local pet store and getting a goldfish and just driving around like that. But alas, we're gonna go ahead and swap it out. On the passenger side, the really worst part about this is the peeling here of this material. Really, I guess from just sitting in the sun, to be honest with you. Now, I also have the side markers here, and you can see there's some hazing. These aren't in terrible shape, but if we go back over here to the driver's side, the worst portion of the driver's side is this spot right here, which has chipped off and is just unsightly. So what I did was we pulled 2 new headlights and 2 side markers from a donor vehicle at the local salvage yard that are in great condition, and we're going to swap it out. Now, on top of swapping these out, we are also going to swap out with some Auxito headlight bulbs, and these LEDs are going to give a great upgrade to both functionality and appearance. Let's get rocking. Here's our replacements today, and I'm pretty excited to get these on. As you can see, the salvage yard finds really turned out quite well. All things considered, to be the age that these headlights were, I found some very good salvage condition headlamps here, and they're OEM. So aside from just doing a full-on upgrade to make it look far more updated and spend a lot of money, I'm very happy with this, and I got to keep it OEM. This is the replacement side lamp here and here. We're going to go ahead and swap those out. And then these are the Auxito LED lights that I'm doing. These are the 6500K, and I'll talk more about those later, or potentially in a different video, as I'm also going to be replacing my fogs as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a series here of videos. Now, there are some hardware pieces that you can see are not on, such as that silver bracket there, but I plan on replacing those pieces that are missing here from the headlights I pull for my vehicle. So here we go. Let's get it upgraded. All right, so the first step here is we're going to remove our grill, and the reason we are is because you have these connection points on the grill that connect to the headlight housing, and that is on each side, driver and passenger. So we need to get the grill out so that we can get the headlights out. Now, the grill is a very sensitive removal, okay? You've got what I think are 7 points of removal. We have this tab, obviously these two top pegs here. We've got one down here in the middle, right there. And then the same on the passenger side. We've got one here and then one right down there. Probably the best I can show you guys is gonna be on this peg. I'll zoom in here. Now on this peg, you can see that there's this little tab here. That tab, you're going to want to push down, just like that. When you push down, you're going to pull out on that piece, and pulling out will free it away from the body. So that's what you're going to have to do on these connection points. Some of them you're going to attack from the front of the vehicle, and I'll show you that next. All right, so looking at the front of the vehicle, this is bottom right if you're facing it on the driver's side. I'm going to zoom in here, and actually you can see that tab right there, and that is the same concept as what I just showed you on the top side. You have to push that tab down and then pull the grill away from the vehicle gently while the tab is down. You're going to have to do this either with a long skinny flathead screwdriver or something. I would recommend, aside from your hand, to get in there while you're doing that. You're going to have to attack at least 4 of these from the front side in between the grill slots, and that'll get it free. Now we're back behind the driver's side headlight, and as you can see, there is a boot here on the back of the headlight, like a dust debris boot. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and pull it just like it says. It's going to come loose and slide down over that wire loom, and then that'll allow us to get to the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you the next one. All right, with the boot removed, you have the electrical connection, which is that burnt orange connection. You're going to slide that back, and then that will allow you to access the removal of the bulb. All right, now that I've pulled that off, we now need to remove the bulb. And I'll show you this better on the new headlight that is out of the car, but there's a little arm there that basically swings around, and it acts as a keeper or a retainer. And so you just need to compress that arm and swing it out, and it'll allow you to remove the bulb. And here was our headlight bulb that, not shockingly, is completely toast. All right, so this is on the new headlight, but I wanted to show you guys that retaining arm. So it sits and swivels on this set screw here, and all you have to do is compress it on the opposite end of the set screw, compress and lift, and it lifts out of its little channel and swings out. So that's what you have to remove. It sets back the same way you take it out, just like that. Super easy. There's a couple points of removal that we need to take here to get the headlight out. I'm going to start here with this screw. This is a screw that holds in the headlight and the side marker lamp together. So we're going to start right there. All right, next we're going to address this bolt right here. And this is part of the front trim. All right, the next one we've got here is also a 10mm bolt, and this one is going to be up against the body of the vehicle. All right, now the next one's going to be a little tricky. It's going to be behind this body panel, so you peel that panel back very gently. You don't want to cause any damage to it. And that guy back there is our next victim. All right, next step we're going to take is remove the side marker lamp, and to do this you just need to get some pressure on the back side and pull towards yourself. Now you might be able to tell, but this side marker lamp here is held in primarily right here at this connection point. So when you're prying away, you kind of use a little bit of force to pry away from the body and also towards yourself at the same time, and that'll get this free and get it popped out. Here's our connection for the bulb. You can either rotate the bulb out or compress that tab down and just free it up right like that. All right, now that we've got our side marker successfully removed, we can go ahead and address these two nuts that are holding the headlight in, and these are also 10 millimeter. All right, now with those nuts successfully removed, we are ready to remove our headlight from the vehicle. There we go. Check that out, man. It's like a river inside of there. All right, let's get this thing over to the bench. All right, so here's our salvage donor vehicle headlight that we're putting on, and this is the one that we're taking off. It should be pretty obvious at this point. We're missing this part right here, so we're gonna take it off of the headlight we removed from the vehicle. And the way you do that seems to be pretty straightforward. There's these tabs here on the back when you flip it over, and all you have to do is take a small flathead screwdriver and pry underneath those tabs, and then it comes right off. Super simple. I'm going to go ahead and remove this other tab while I'm back here. There we go. Once again, just two tabs right there, spreads across, and you put it back on. Now this guy here has seen better days, so we're going to take it off. This is off on our new headlight. That easy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment to clean these up here just a little bit, and then we will reinstall them on our new headlight. All right, we have these all cleaned up, and we're going to go ahead and install them back onto our new headlight. Now these are already spread out a little bit, so you're going to have to clamp them back on and tighten them down. Now we've clamped them down with our pliers, and we are just going to take the flat edge here of a flathead screwdriver and compress the tabs back down. All right, there we go. Just like new, we've got those taken care of. All right, so we've got those tabs replaced on the passenger side headlight, and sadly enough, yes, I didn't realize I was working with the passenger side headlight. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me, but we have now got the driver's side replacement headlight and the old driver's side headlight. And what we're doing now is there's a component on the back side of this stud that I refer to as basically it's like a washer or a keeper, and it helps you with this adjusting screw. And so we need to replace the one on the donor headlight because it is not working. It's broken. So in order to actually be able to do, for this headlight to work, we're gonna have to replace this keeper. So they are old and they are brittle, and this would probably be the most nerve-wracking part of this whole journey, to be honest. So what we need to do is unscrew these plastic pieces here for the adjusters. That will allow us to take off the backside housing from the headlight. Now, right here, there is a stud and a little retainer that holds this housing in. I do not want to mess with this right now, and that's because it can break easily, and I can go ahead and access the part that I need to, which is right here. That little clover piece, and as you can see, it's broken right there. So we are going to do the same thing over here and see if we can successfully remove that piece and transplant it over. All right, so we have successfully removed the housing from the actual headlamp itself. And now that we have a couple of different options here to hopefully not screw this up. Now, I could also do this on the passenger side light as well when I take that out of the vehicle. So we'll see how this goes. As the saying says, wish me luck. Now, there's a ridge here on this keeper. There's a ridge here on this stud that you're going to have to get over, and that is by far what I would say is the most difficult part, is trying to stretch this out and up over that ridge without breaking it. I'm using a pick tool here to create some separation because there's so little room, and then my flathead screwdriver is up underneath it. Now that has it free of the ridge, but in order to get it out, and I just lost it there. In order to get it out, I will need to do this on at least two sides. All right, so we got this one free, mostly using those two picks and just working around it, underneath it, and prying up one side at a time, one holding its place while the other one comes and pops up. So we've got that free. We need to get transferred over here to our new headlight housing. I'm gonna double check, and while I'm at it, I might go ahead and take off this second one. So after double checking, it looks like I need both of them on this new headlight and this new assembly. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on our other keeper. All right, I was able to successfully get our second keeper out, and so now we are ready to install them on our new headlight housing. Now, in order to do this properly, I will need to remove this back housing, so I'm going to compress both sides here of this tab, carefully lifting up, and there we go. That stays in place on the stud, which is where I want it. And now we can put these keepers in and the screws on the back. All right, so we flipped it around and we've got this pushed through, and we are going to simply compress this over and it'll snap in place. Now that keeps it where it is. I'm gonna flip this around and do the same. There we go. All right, so now our adjustments are in place here. We can move this back in place. And I don't know if you've noticed, but previously, after pulling this from the salvage vehicle, I did give it a nice cleaning. And I think it looks pretty dang good, if I do say so myself. All right, so we've got our spring here, which is an important part of this process. And we're gonna need to watch that as we put this back together. We've got our drain hoses here that go out in certain locations, and our adjuster studs, or screws if you will, and this portion here that goes back. So it's all very important to understand as you're putting this back in place what you need to be paying attention to as you tighten these adjuster screws and nuts back on. Now we're going to go at it at a nice even pace, and we're going to rotate here and here so that way it starts to sit itself down evenly. Now at this point in the process, we need to grab the spring and pull it through here. Get it nice and set in place. And we're also going to pull the other drain tube out through that hole so that now it is in place where it needs to be. Now one of the last steps here is to get this connection point through. And you're going to line it up right here and then push in. And now it catches. Now it's going to pull in on this side, which creates tension on the spring on this side. I don't know exactly where we need to adjust this. And I won't know until I get them installed and look at it at night and see where it is. But basically my goal here is just to get it to a place where it's installed, it looks good, it's functional. I got the keepers on there. And then coming back this evening, I will put the headlights up against the garage door and get them aimed in and adjust it as needed. So this looks good. We've got the connectors here. Everything looks good here, here, and here. All of our pieces are in place there and there. And we just need our boot, and we need to get our Auxito bulb in, and we'll be ready to roll on this one. All right, so here's our plan of action. Here's our boot, but we're not gonna put the boot on yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna install the headlight housing back into the vehicle, make sure that it's secure. I don't wanna do all that while I have our new bulb in place. So we're gonna install everything, put our bulb in, put the boot back on and the connection point, and then tidy everything up. All right, so here's our headlight that we are now swapping out, and we're gonna start by sliding it on these studs right here. And just making sure that everything aligns nicely, and it does. So I'm gonna let it sit there and rest while I just snug up these two nuts. Once again, this is a 10 millimeter. All right, now we're not getting it too snug. We're gonna leave some room here for some wiggle. And that's so that we can get the rest of the nuts installed correctly and without any issue. All right, now we have this one nut here. All right, we got that bolt placed in there. Now we're gonna go and slide this body cover out of the way and try to work to line this bolt up without dropping it, being the key. Probably the easiest way there to address it is the way I'm doing it. Get your hand in the back. Hold it steady. And then come from the front side there. All right, we just snugged it up there. I'm gonna back off of it a little bit here. And now that we have our 4 connection points in, we're gonna level it up and tighten it down. Now keep in mind you are torquing down against plastic tabs, and these tabs are of age. The last thing you want to do is over torque and snap a tab off. It'll make a good project go bad very quickly. beautiful. All right, so here's my old side marker lamp, and we're going to replace our bulb here. So the way we're going to do that is just by rotating it counterclockwise, taking that out. Now that bulb comes straight out. You just got to pull it right out. These are 194s, and I'm going to be replacing them with some Silver Star wider light, and that's because that's what I have on hand. I'm thinking about going LED, and most likely I will, but to get this thing back going tonight, looking good when we drive, we're going to replace it with what I have on hand, and that's these Silver Stars. So let's get it placed in here. Now here's our new side marker lamp, new to us, and it actually, we pulled it from the salvage yard with its connection. So we're gonna use that one. We're gonna take that bulb out here, replace it with our Silver Star. And what we wanna do is seat it back in just the way it came out. And now to lock it in, you turn it clockwise. Let's get it plugged in. All right, I went ahead and cleaned up the edge here of the body, and we're gonna go ahead and plug this back in now. There we go. When you hear it snap, you know you're good. And just keeping in mind, once again, that tab goes and locks into that placement. And this right here needs to slide under the body and over the headlight. So you wanna make certain that you're getting everything lined up. There we go. And now once we have it lined up, we're just going to simply push right there. We've got it in. Now with everything in place, we can come back on top where I showed you originally, and we're going to put our screw back in, which holds the side marker lamp into our headlight housing. There we go. All right, last step is to secure our body panel here with the headlight itself. And that's our 10mm. Now this 10mm also has a Phillips head to it. So if you wanted to take a Phillips head screwdriver to it, you could. But I find it far easier to stick with the 10mm since the entire job is done with our 10mm friend here. All right, now that one kind of screws in, but it doesn't torque down like a bolt. It almost starts to feel as if you're gonna strip it out. So my suggestion is get it nice and tight, but don't overdo it because you'll probably end up regretting it. So there we go. Our driver's side headlamp and side marker lamp are now successfully swapped. And man, it is really exciting to see a good looking headlight on this side of the vehicle again. Now that we're done on the driver's side, we're gonna move it over to the passenger side and do the same thing. All right guys, so here's the deal. Since we just went through it step by step on the driver's side and I showed you a bit more of a macro close-up version of what we're doing here, I'm just gonna keep the camera at this angle and talk through all the same steps. It should be exactly the same as we did it on the other side. So let's get rolling. Taking the screw out here that holds in our side marker lamp. And we're taking out this 10mm that is a screw here on the front side that holds in this body trim. We've got a 10mm bolt up top. This one's on the back side. We've got a 10mm bolt here down low. Now this one's a little trickier here with this angle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the extension off of the ratchet, and we're going to try to do it by hand the rest of the way. If it drops, we're just going to drop it below onto the driveway. But we got it. Steady hand win the race. All right. Now we're going to go to our side marker lamp, and we're going to remove it from the vehicle. There we go. Now with it out, compress our tab and pull out towards us. Now with our side marker lamp out, we can go ahead and take care of these two 10mm nuts. All right, now with all of our nuts and bolts free, I'm going to come around the back side here, and we're going to pull the boot off of the back of the headlight. So what you want to do is you want to disconnect the headlight or the headlight bulb away from the electrical connection first, and then you can remove the boot. Once that's done, we're all set. Okay, so guys, here we go. This is our old and former passenger side headlight. This is our new donor passenger side headlight. And I'm just going to take a quick glance over all the components to make certain that everything looks good. This one had those keepers on the backside, so we do not have any trouble here in regards to those guys. And honestly, I don't think we're going to have any trouble at all. So it looks like we're missing one little component here. If I turn the headlights on their edge, looks like we're missing this little keeper here for our screw. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out and transplant it over here to our new headlight. Nice and easy. As you can see, you just compress one of those down, and now we're going to push it in there. So we've got that one done. And again, I'm just checking the rest of the components here. On this one, we have the tabs in place, and they look good to me. What a difference. So I'm going to show you guys here, while I can, the difference in the two headlights. And I don't know if it's going to come across in video, but big time difference. We had a lot of flaking going on our old one over here. The finish had worn off almost completely in regards to the reflective finish inside the headlight, and it was peeling. Also, just the lens itself was fading and yellowing. And on our new one over here, we don't have any of those issues. So much better looking. And honestly, the reflectivity of it at night will also be much better, coupled with our new Auxito LEDs that we're going to install. So we've got this taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the vehicle since everything looks good to me, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so here we go. We are putting our new headlight back in, and again, we're just starting the exact same way we did on the driver's side, and that is by putting our 10mm nuts over here on the side. We're just going to get them tightened in here, not torquing them down yet. Okay, so those aren't torqued down fully yet. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to install the 10mm bolt. All right, now we have the 10mm bolt that is down below the headlight. All right, now that we have those in place, we're going to go ahead and start to torque it down. Last but not least, we've got our 10mm head screw here, and that holds in our body panel. All right, now we have our side marker lamp here, and this one is exactly the same, although in this case, we're gonna turn it towards us. We're gonna remove this old bulb here, and we're gonna replace it with our Silver Star 194. There we go, ready to hook it up. All right, last but not least, the set screw here. All right, there we go. All right, so we're prepping here to put our grill back in. And one thing I would strongly suggest doing is these clips here are the clips that in the beginning of the video I showed you that you need to compress, right? And that'll allow you to pull your grill out away from the body of the car. So if any of those clips are left in those locations in the body or the frame of the vehicle, I would strongly suggest taking them out. All you have to do is just twist them. Don't try to push them because these are very brittle. All you have to do is just grab them with your fingers and rotate them clockwise, and they'll come out of that slot that they're in the body. Take them and then carefully put them back into the grill in this location. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do that at all 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots of the grill, and that will make it easier to put the grill back in place and install it. So let's clean the grill up a little bit and then we'll put it back in the car. All right, so here's our grill, and this is the final step in our process today, getting these new headlights swapped. You want to make certain when putting it in that you are accurately lining it up with the tabs. Remember, there's 2 on the headlights on each end, and there's going to be 1 down here on the support bracket, and then 2 here and here on the actual frame and the body of the vehicle. So you want to line it up good, make sure everything looks the right way, and then push in. Here we go. All right, just like that, it's in. All right, guys, there it is. We've successfully swapped them out, and I am so excited. There's no more driver's side fish tank. I don't have to go find Nemo and give him a home in the 4Runner. The driver's side headlight from the donor vehicle and the parking lamp both look fantastic. Passenger side also looks excellent. And what a refresh it has given the entire front end of the 4Runner. It looks so much better. Couldn't be more excited.